Welcome to Dragonfly Trading. My name is Carrie, and I'm a full-time trader in the crypto and Forex markets. I am very excited about this video today. I have bugged my friend for years to release his indicator series, and he finally has. His Discord name is Upland, and his website is called Unwrecked. If you would like to be unwrecked instead of wrecked, I highly recommend this indicator series. They have saved me so many times. You literally will know where the market can go and when. In today's video, I'm going to introduce the two that I love the most out of the 9 that he's releasing. And at the end of this video, I am sure you'll be amazed. I ask that you use my referral link. It's in the description below. And let's get started. Okay. So the indicator on the top that you see is called the machine. It is based on moving averages that he has turned into Bollinger Bands. Don't ask me how he did this. I don't know. It's just amazing. The white is the 20. As you can see, you have a bottom and you have a top, just like a Bollinger Band. I've just taken the middle out. You have the 50, which is blue, a top and bottom Bollinger Band. The yellow is the 100, top and bottom line. And then this is the red top and the red bottom's down there, way down there somewhere, okay? Think of them as Bollinger Bands overlapping each other. The bottom indicator is called the quasi. The colors that you see are the same moving averages. The white with the background is the 20. Blue 50, yellow 100, red 200. As you can see, we have 100 to minus 100. Imagine this area as a cage. I find this is the easiest way to understand. As long as the moving averages are inside this cage, price cannot trend, meaning that it can't go on a bull run or dump really hard, as long as they are inside the box. Now, price naturally wants to escape the box to the upside or escape the cage to the downside. When it escapes to the upside, price goes up. When it escapes to the downside, price goes down. If you notice, on September 28th, all of the colors were outside and escaped the cage to the upside. At that moment, price was able to move out of all of the Bollinger Bands, out the top of them, because they came out of their cage. When they are out the top, whatever color it is, when in this case it was all of them, price cannot close a candle below. So as you can see, the white and all the other colors were out, and price never closed a candle below white because it was out the top. It can wick through, but it cannot close a candle as long as these are out the top of the cage. On April 5th, white came back into the cage. Blue, yellow, and red were still out, but white came in. This means that price can now come inside the white Bollinger Band. As you notice, because of this, it nailed the top. Because once white comes in, that is it. Price cannot go above white with a candle close. It has to come inside the white Bollinger Band. If you notice, that was the last candle that was above white. We had a wick, but not a candle body. But if you do notice, blue was still outside of the cage, which means price is not allowed to come inside of the blue Bollinger Band because it is not inside the cage. Price has to stay on top of the Bollinger Band until it comes in. And at this moment, it was not in. It would have told you that this candle was going to find support on top of blue Bollinger Band because it's not allowed to come in. If you notice, at this point, right here, trying to get it perfect. It's not going to be perfect, but close enough. Blue came into the box, which means price can now come inside blue Bollinger Band. Now it can come inside this blue Bollinger Band, and it did. But what was still out? Yellow. Price is not allowed to come inside of yellow until yellow came inside the cage right here. And sure enough, this candle is allowed to come inside of yellow. But red was still out, which means price is not allowed to break red with a candle close. This totally would have told you where the tippy top was, where price was going to hold, when it was going to break down, and where it was going to hold again. It is amazing. Now let's look at a downside move. White came out of the box approximately right there to the downside. As you notice, we were not breaking white with a candle close. We were finding support, finding support, finding support, finding support. Why? Because white Bollinger Band is inside the cage. The minute that white came out the bottom of the cage, price is allowed to break white. And as long as white is out of the bottom, price cannot come back inside white Bollinger Band. We have a bottom line and a top line of white Bollinger Band. Do you notice that price could not come back inside until white came back in? Right approximately there. So this next candle, I couldn't get it right on it. It's this candle. Was able to break back into white. It is a beautiful thing. Let's look and see where we're at right now. So right now, red, yellow, white, blue are all inside of the cage. White below zero is telling you that the market is weighted to the downside. If white was above zero, it would tell you that the market is weighted to the upside. But because it's below, it's telling us it's weighted to the downside, but all of the colors are inside. So it means that as of right now, price cannot break this white Bollinger Band in price. It can wick through it, but it is not closing a candle underneath there until white comes out the bottom. It is not breaking blue until blue comes out the bottom on a weekly candle. Each time frame works on its own. So we know right now, unless these come out the bottom, there is no worry of breaking 34,000 until they do come out the bottom. Let's move down to a lower time frame. Let's go to the daily. Right now on the daily, white is weighted to the downside, which means on the daily the market wants to go down. But yellow, blue, red, and white are inside the cage, which means price cannot break red, cannot break yellow, cannot break blue. And right now, because white is still inside, that is why we are holding this bottom of this white MA with price. It will not break it on the daily time frame unless this white line comes out the bottom of the cage. If it does that, price will be able to break white and come down to blue. Because blue is still in the cage. If blue comes out and white comes out, it will be able to break white and blue, but yellow and red will still be inside. If red comes out and yellow comes out the bottom, then price on a daily time frame can break all of them to the downside, but not until then. This is 100% in my book foolproof. Look at this wick right here. How it wicked through, but came all the way back up to blue and closed the candle. I bet you blue was inside the box. Yes, it was. Where's that at? This candle. Blue was inside the cage, which means price can wick through, but you will know 100% that it'll come back up and close a candle. What a long that would have been, just knowing that you could grab that wick and make 9% guaranteed. Because it's coming back up and it's closing that candle above blue. Notice right here, this candle broke through white. Well, that was the minute that white came out the bottom. The minute. The minute that white broke out the bottom, price was allowed to break white to the bottom. Red came out, so it's allowed to break red. As long as red is out the bottom, it's not allowed to come back inside of red. It's going to have to bonk its head on it. Let's go down lower to the 8 hour. Right now, let me get this off here. Right now, white is trying to turn back up towards zero, but it is still weighted to the downside. Right now, they are all inside of the cage, which means that is why we're hanging on by a thread here. 2, we're inside of white. We're hanging on to blue because blue is hanging on by a thread here, but it is inside. As long as it's inside, we're not breaking it. So we're hanging on to it. Yellow is inside, so we can't break yellow to the downside, and white is inside. So even if these two came out the downside and we broke blue and yellow, we know that white's going to hold us until white comes out the bottom. If white comes out the bottom and red is still in, then red is the next target that's going to hold. This works on every single time frame. You could literally go down to the 15-minute and scalp all day and know where price can go. Right now, white is inside, so we can't break the bottom of white with price until price comes out the bottom. Blue and yellow are out the bottom. Until they come back into the cage, price is not allowed to come back inside of blue and yellow's Bollinger Band. That's why it is hanging out underneath them. Until they come back inside, price cannot get back inside the Bollinger Band. It will continue to reject on blue until blue comes back in. Once blue comes back in, then it can come back in to the Bollinger Band. And it has to stay inside until it comes out the upside, which means it can break it to the upside, or back out the bottom, which means it can break it to the bottom. Beautiful, beautiful thing, I think. Okay. So that is the gist of the indicators. These two, he has 9 to offer, and they just get better than this. So I hope you found this interesting, and if you did, the link is in the description below for his website, and the link is in the description below for my referral code. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Easter. And I'll see you in the next one.